Hey everyone, this is Abe from Homey, and I'm here today to tell you all about the Homey Energy Dongle and the Homey Energy tab in the mobile Homey app. We're going to have a look at what a digital energy meter is, what the Homey Energy Dongle does, how you can get data from your digital energy meter. We're going to have a look at the whole new energy tab within the mobile app. And we're also going to run through a few of the options that you can use if you don't have a P1 enabled digital meter at home. So first, let's take a step back. What is a digital energy meter? That's the device that you see here. And usually this device is located in the electricity closet in your home. So the place where all the power comes in. And this meter, as the name suggests, it meters all the power you're using at home. And sometimes it also sends that data to your energy provider. In this case, we have a digital version here. Could also be that you still have an older analog one. In that case, there might be some options, but it might be a bit more difficult to get your data into Homey. But if you have a digital energy meter like this one, it could be fairly easy to get the data from the meter into the Homey app. Let's have a look at the Homey Energy Dongle. So here we have the Homey Energy Dongle. And the Homey Energy Dongle uses the P1 standard for getting data from your digital energy meter. There are multiple different protocols that are used. P1 is commonly found in Europe, and it uses the port right here to share the data the digital energy meter is gathering with, for example, Homey in this case. So looking at the Homey Energy Dongle, we have the P1 connector at the top. So this is used to plug in to your digital energy meter. It's used to gather all the data, and for some digital meters, it is also used to power the Homey Energy Dongle. If we move to the side, we can find a USB Type-C port here. In the box of the Homey Energy Dongle, you'll also find a USB Type-A to C cable. This cable isn't always necessary, but in case that your digital energy meter doesn't provide enough power to the energy dongle, you might want to plug it in. But we'll also get into that a bit later. The USB Type-C port can also be used to gather data from the energy dongle. So if you want to tinker around a bit, that's also something that you can do. Next to the USB Type-C port, you can also find a small pinhole that is used to reset the device if you need to do that. Then if we move to the bottom of the Homey Energy Dongle, here we can find another P1 port that is used to pass through any data that the Homey Energy Dongle gathers from the meter. So let's say you have a EV charger in your home that also comes with its own P1 connector or P1 dongle. What you can do here is you can plug the Homey Energy Dongle into your digital energy meter, and then afterwards you can plug in any additional meter into the P1 port right here. It is good to note that if you are connecting an additional device to this port, you also want to plug in the additional power source. Since the other dongle also needs to be powered, it will get that power from the USB Type-C port in this case. With the Homey Energy Dongle, you can usually use any 5 volt, 1 amp USB power supply. So that's a 5 watt power supply. Then if we move to the front of the device, of course you have the Homey logo right here, but you can also find a small LED indicator that helps you through the setup, but it also blinks white every time it gathers data from your digital energy meter. Depends on which version and how old your meter is, but that's usually between 5 to 15 seconds. And if you have a really new one, that could even be every second. So the first thing that you need to do if you want to set up your Homey Energy Dongle is, of course, you want to get your Homey Energy Dongle. Also make sure that you have the USB Type-A to C cable handy in case you need to have that additional power. And of course, get to your electricity closet where your digital energy meter is located. So the first step here is to plug in the device. So let's do that now. With this energy meter that we have right here, it is a Landis & Gyr unit, and it has a P1 port right here at the bottom. If you want to make sure that your P1 enabled meter works with Homey Energy, we'll have a knowledge base article linked in the description down below where you can get a whole list of supported digital energy meters. For this one, the port is located right here, but it could also be that it's behind some cover or that it's on the top or of the side of the device. So have a good look at your digital energy meter and you'll find the P1 port somewhere. So what we can do is we can plug it in. It will click to let you know it's plugged in correctly. And then if we look at the LED, you can see that it's currently lit up red. Don't worry, it doesn't mean that your device is broken. It just means that your device needs some additional power to function correctly. So what we are going to do is we're going to grab the USB Type-C cable that's included with the Homey Energy Dongle, and we're simply going to plug that in. And what you're going to see here is that the LED will change from solid red to a breathing blue. And as you might know from other Homey devices, that means that it's ready for pairing and it's waiting for commands. So let's get to the mobile Homey app and continue the setup from there. So we are now in the mobile app, and what we can simply do here is press the plus at the top right, press new device, and Homey will automatically start searching for any devices that are close by, including the energy dongle. And there we go. So Homey found the energy dongle. What we can now do is simply press connect the energy dongle. It will now connect over Bluetooth to the device. And it will ask, hey, where is your energy dongle located? In our case, let's say in the hallway. Afterwards, the Homey Energy Dongle will start scanning for Wi-Fi. So here we go. We have all the networks that are close by. So select your network from the list. Put in your password, of course, and press next. The Homey Energy Dongle will now start to connect with your network. And if we look at the dongle, as we can see on the screen as well, the blue LED is blinking blue, and it turns green after it successfully connects with your Wi-Fi network. So it will start to check for updates. In our case, that we don't have any updates here, and it now will start reading the smart meter data. So there we go. The Homey Energy Dongle is now connected to the smart meter and it's reading the power values from the smart meter. So let's press finish. And we are all good to go. Okay, now let's have a look at how the Energy Dongle looks inside of the Homey app. So if we scroll down to the hallway, we will find the Homey Energy Dongle here. And if we long press, we can see the current amount of power being used. And let's, of course, give it a test. So what I have here is a small electric heater. Let's quickly put that on here. And let's turn this on and see what happens. So that's currently heating up, and we should get the current power in a bit. So there we go. The energy or the heater is now turned on. I can feel the heat here, and we can see that the Homey Energy Dongle is reporting 1.8 kilowatts of power usage on this smart meter. So if we go into the capabilities, we can see here at the bottom the live power usage. In our case, 1840 watts or so. That's all coming from this small electric heater here. So let's quickly turn it off since it's getting quite hot. And what we can also see here is the total energy imported, in this case in low tariffs. So it will get the actual meter readings from your smart or digital energy meter, and it will also display it here in the app. The capabilities of the Homey Energy Dongle are dependent on the data that's provided by your digital energy meter. So in this case, the one that we have does show the total energy imported and exported, and it does show the actual usage, but that's all. So now let's quickly switch to another Homey that's connected to another digital meter to show what it looks like if you have a somewhat newer version of this digital meter. So we've now switched to the Homey Energy Dongle that's connected in my home. So in this case, currently using about 400 watts of power. And if we go to the capabilities, what we can see here is that there are lots more capabilities available here. So we can again see the total energy imported, exported. If I had solar panels, we can see the live power. We can also see the live power per phase. And since I have 3 phases, we can see that the power is divided over 3 phases here. We can see the voltage per phase, we can see the amperage per phase, the gas usage, and the total energy imported today and exported today, for example. We can also see the different loads per phases, and this is something that you'll have to set up manually. So if we go to the other tab here, we can also see the load per phase, and Homey will automatically send you a notification if the load on the phase gets too high. Well, how we can set this up is we'll go into device settings, and we'll already see a tab here that says phase capacity. So if we tap on that one, you can see that the amount of phases is automatically detected by Homey. So in my case, that are 3 phases, but the phase capacity is something that you have to set yourself. Sometimes you can just have a look in your electricity closet and you can see it there. Or what you can also do is look at the statements from your energy provider. Usually it's also listed there. In my case, it's 3 phases with 25 amps per phase, which is pretty standard here in the Netherlands. And after that, you will get the phase load, and you can see a nice overview of the phase, or the load per phases. And of course, if you move somewhat to the right, you also have your Homey Insights, which are of course available for free on Homey Pro and are available with Homey Premium as well. Okay, now let's have a look at the all-new Homey Energy tab. So you can find the Homey Energy tab right there at the bottom within the Homey app. And what you can see here is a total overview of the amount of power you're using, your solar panels, your home battery, your EV. That's all stated here. So if you look at this home, we have the Homey Energy Dongle, we have our solar panels, and we have a home battery. We can see that we are currently generating about 2000 watts with the solar panels. We are using about 200, so we are currently delivering 1.8 kilowatts back to the grid. So you'll get an overview here, which you can also scroll through and see at what time, how much power was used. Well, if you scroll further down, you can also see your solar generation. So you can see that the sun started shining today at about, 7:30. And it's currently generating a nice amount of solar power. And further at the bottom, we can also see our top consumers. Top consumers isn't something that's actually measured by your energy dongle or your digital energy meter. The top consumers are measured by energy plugs you might have at home or a device that reports its power usage itself. So in this case, we just had the electric heater here. If you plug that into a smart plug, that can also be used to show up in your top consumers. So in this case, we have the washing machine here that's connected to a measuring plug, and it's showing that about 1.3 kilowatts was used by the washing machine. Now, if we scroll further down, you can see your gas usage here as well. That's also reported by the Homey Energy Dongle. And you see water. With water, in some European countries, water is actually part of the P1 standard. So the Homey Energy Dongle will actually get the water usage from your P1 port. In other countries where that isn't the case, you could also use a dedicated water meter connected to either your piping or the water meter itself to get the reading from there. And then I think the last thing we should have a look at is the pricing, since with all these graphs, you can also see how much it is costing us. So if we press on the pricing, you can fill in your tariffs. So currently for me, since we're looking at electricity, that would be the electricity tariff. But if we go to gas, for example, you can also find your gas tariffs here. What we are also working on is in the future, you will also be able to connect your dynamic tariffs by pressing dynamic, and it will automatically gather all the dynamic tariffs from the market and automatically import those into the Homey app. So this way, you don't need to fill in anything yourself. It will gather that automatically. And pricing of your devices will also vary based on when you were using the device. Then if we scroll all the way to the bottom, you also have a button that says Customize, where you can again get fill in your different tariffs, and you can also manage your data here. So if there's any data that might get corrupted, or you plugged in a plug that you didn't mean to, or whatever else, you can either delete data here from, for example, your electricity total, your solar, your gas, but also you can delete energy data from specific devices here. And then the last thing I want to show you is getting an overview of your previous power usage. So currently we are looking at the power usage today, but of course it could also be nice if we would get an overview of the energy usage in the past. So at the top we can press on today, and we can, for example, say, hey, I want to see my energy usage last month. So let's have a look here. Wait for the app to load, and what we can see here is that in the month of March, we have imported a total of 192 kilowatts, exported 161, so we have a net usage of 31.6. And we can also scroll through the different days here to see what our exact usage was per day. If we scroll further down, we can also see our solar generation for each day. We can see the top consumers for the last month, our gas usage, and our water usage. So that's about everything you needed to know about the all-new Homey Energy tab. Next up, let's have a look at what you can do in case that you don't have a P1 enabled energy meter. Okay, so let's have a look. Right in front of me, I have a couple of boxes. Of course, we have the Homey Energy Dongle here that uses the P1 standard, but you might see that in different countries, different standards are used to get data from your digital energy meter. One standard that almost every digital meter supports is using a very clever trick actually. So if we look at the energy meter here, we can see that there's a small blinking LED at the front. And that LED is blinking, in this case it stays right next to it, about 1,000 blinks per kilowatt used. And we can actually use that LED to get the energy usage from the digital energy meter. So what I have here is one example. So this one is from Friend, one of our partners, and they make a optical energy management interface. So what you can do after connecting this device to Homey via Zigbee, you can connect the sensor on top of the small LED, and it will actually start reading and reporting all the data to Homey. Do note, in this case, the only data that you are getting is the amount of power you're using. So if you, for example, have solar panels, that doesn't work here, since the LED will just blink and it doesn't especially know if you are importing or exporting data. So this works very well if you have a digital meter, but it isn't connected in any way and you don't have solar panels, for example. There are also some options, like the ones from PowerFox in Germany, that also uses this optical standard, and that one can actually read both the feed in and the feed out, so the total imported and exported. One of the other options that you'll also see, especially in Norway for example, is the HAN standard. Could be a bit confusing here, since HAN is used in different ways, and sometimes it also says HAN P1. But usually the HAN standard you find in Norway comes with a RJ45 jack, so a full-sized Ethernet jack you could compare it to. And in most meters in Norway you can connect, for example, this heated Z-Wave ZHAN2 and actually report or get all your energy data from your HAN-enabled smart meter into Homey over Z-Wave in this case. So it works very similarly to the Homey Energy Dongle. Connect this device to your HAN port on your smart meter and you will get all the data into the Homey Energy tab. Another option for our French users is Linky. So you see that in French, almost every person, if they have a connected digital meter, they use the Linky standard. This is one I believe only used in France. And we have this device from Lixay, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but this one plugs into your Linky enabled smart meter and works over Zigbee with Homey. So you can simply plug this into the, actually uses 3 pins to plug it in, and afterwards it will also start reporting the energy usage to Homey over Zigbee. So this works with Homey Bridge, Homey Pro, or Homey Pro Mini, of course, over Zigbee. And then we have one last option. So let's say you still have an analog meter. It doesn't have any digital features. It doesn't have any LEDs or any ports you can plug into. You also have such devices as this one from AOTech. So what this one actually does is that this particular version connects over Z-Wave with Homey. And afterwards what you can do is you can connect the clamp around the cable that goes into or out of your energy meter. And the clamp will actually use magnetic fields to get an accurate reading of your energy usage. So in case you don't have any digital features on your meter, you think you're all out of options, such a clamp device can also still work to get all your data into Homey. So that's it. We talked about what a digital energy meter is. We talked about the different standards, what options you have if you want to get your energy data into Homey, and we've also given a brief overview of how the new Homey Energy tab works. If you want to read more about it, we'll also leave some links down in the video description to knowledge-based articles and, for example, our best buy guide, so that you can have a look, hey, what are my best options and how does this all work for me? Then the last thing I wanted to do is thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down below in the comments. If you like the video and want to learn more about Homey, please subscribe, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.